Hi friends, and welcome to today's video. Welcome to Opal, my Fairycore island, and I'm really excited to have you here. I'm also very excited to be sharing this video. I've been wanting to record for such a long time, and I've finally taken the courage to put myself out there and take a leap of faith. So I hope you enjoyed this video and it brings some inspiration for your own islands. If not, I'm just happy to be sharing. So yeah, as you can see, I've actually already begun with terraforming and already having my campsite placed down. To be honest, I'm actually in the middle of rebuilding my island. I flattened my island in, I believe it was the end of January, and I've been rebuilding it from the left to the right. So right now we're in the upper left hand corner of my island. With the way that my river mouth is, there's a private beach on this side, so I decided to just dedicate that whole space to my campsite. I had this idea that I wanted my campsite to look like it was a retreat, like a little getaway for my villagers, a place where they can sort of rent a tent and go away for the weekend. I wanted that sort of vibe, so I wanted to use the kids' tent to help me with that. And that's also the reason why I decided to dedicate this entire beach plus a little part of land for this. I've had a lot of trouble in the past with my campsite, so I'm happy that I finally figured out some sort of idea to help make it all fit and not look too out of place. I completely talked over it, but I decided to do the cliff that's behind the campsite first. I like to work from back to front when I have to do a build that has a lot of layers to it, like this one, just so it looks nice from the ground view up. I'm very picky about how I want things placed, so I wanted to make sure that it looked nice from the ground view, so that's why I decided to go ahead and do that first. After I put down this pathing, I don't know exactly how it happened, but I couldn't get rid of this wood path that was underneath the campsite, and I don't know how I managed to do it the first time, but regardless, it's just stuck there unless I wanted to go ahead and move it back, so I just left it. After I did this, I'm moving over to the entrance and just terraforming a little bit and making some water features. Waterfalls are one of the first things I think of when I think about Fairycore, so I wanted to make sure there was at least one waterfall in this area. I really love the waterfalls in Animal Crossing, but they're so loud. So I wanted to keep this area as serene as I possibly could, but I did want a waterfall. So I compromised with myself and I made a mini waterfall and connected it to like a little pond thing and called it a day basically. I mentioned before that I wanted my campsite to feel more like a retreat slash like a getaway for my villagers, so the only way to get to the campsite, unless you have a ladder, is to go through that bridge which connects to the rest of the island, and where the pathway is on the cliff that's above it, is going to be turned into a forest. So I wanted it to feel as isolated as it could, and a little bit more separate to the rest of the island. If I'm being completely honest, I've actually never gone camping with a tent before, so I don't really know if how I put this is actually how it works in real life. I wanted the entrance of the campsite to be more of a communal space, and then it transitions into where the actual tents are. I've only ever been on school camps, and they've always taken us to a place that's sort of like a retreat building or something. I don't really know. It's sort of like a closed off area, and there's cabins, and there's always a bunch of other schools there, and there's like a dining hall where you go and get all of your stuff and like food and everything. So I don't really know if that's how it works, if you're like going camping in like the woods, or in our case, in my case it would be the bush because I live in Australia, but I am assuming that that's how it works when you go camping there. you have like your tent and stuff, but there's also communal stuff for you to share with other people. So with that theory of mine. Yes? Hi. Oh, okay, bye. Okay, my cat just came into the room and distracted me, sorry. But like I was saying, with that theory in mind, I wanted to make this like sort of dining area where there's like some food, some activities you can do, like that puzzle with a little Sims logo on it, because I do like the Sims, so I wanted to incorporate that. There's also some fruit water, so that way if they get thirsty they have something to drink. I also ended up putting down some plates, and I think also the Turkey Day casserole dish. So it sort of just looks like they brought their own food. I also put in this library. I really love this item. It's one of the cutest things in this game. I actually ended up putting it back in the same spot that I had it in at the first time when I did this. So it was sort of funny how that worked out. I'm also now going in and just decorating this entrance area a bit more. I really pond. Normally, I don't really like the way a pond looks right next to the edge, but in this case, I feel like it works because it fills up a lot of empty space that I didn't really have any other way of filling in besides putting in a bunch of tents, and I didn't really want to do that. And it's small enough and sort of just fits with this area, so I didn't really mind too much. I'm actually pretty happy with how it looks. Then after that, I'm just going to be decorating this area. I decided to also make it sort of a reading nook, so I decided to add a bunch of books next to the well, and also on the bench I also decided to add a book. By this point of recording, I was actually starting to get really tired and fatigued, so I ended up taking a break and finishing the rest a little bit later. So soon there's going to be a bit of a time jump and some lighting difference, so just wanted to warn you guys ahead of that. But for the actual tents, once I started placing them down, I wanted there to be some, oh my god, no, comment please, comment, just sniff and leave. Don't steal my water. No, don't go on my keyboard. Please excuse my gremlin children. They wanted to make their presence known to you guys because they love you and they wanted to say hi. I also can't really stop them from coming into my room because their favorite water bowl is the one that's in my bedroom. So I can't really stop it, so I'm really sorry if they're a little bit interruptive. I have two cats. My oldest one is Nova and he's 2 turning 3, and my kitten is Comet and he's the one that came onto my table and tried to drink my water. It took me a very long time to figure out how I wanted to decorate this middle section in between the first tent and the campsite. I was really struggling with having it look full, but I also wanted to have access to the actual campsite itself. So as you can see, I went back and forth trying to figure out what I wanted, and then in the end I decided to make a little relaxing area to go in with my retreat theme. And of course, I'm adding in a teddy bear to try to make it a bit more Fairycore. So now, as you can see, I took another break because I was getting a little bit stuck and I was running out of items to use. So I took a break, went and got some fences and some flowers, and I'm just decorating the actual campsite area with that. And then after this, I'm moving on to the beach. I wanted the campsite to extend onto the beach, so firstly I'm just putting down some custom designs and then I'm going to be putting the tents on top of it. I wanted to keep the beach simple and I still wanted to have access to the sea so I could fish if needed. I wanted to put some of the tents on the beach as well, so I decided to put 2 down, and then once I put it down I realized that they were both white and the tents that was in the campsite was both pink, so I decided to swap one of them around so that way there was a little bit of pink on the beach as well. I had a rough idea with how I wanted the beach to look, but I wasn't really 100% sure, so I did a lot of fiddling around and readjusting everything until I was happy with the final result. It was at this point when I decided to extend the planks further down the beach because I realized that there wasn't a lot of space in front of this pink tent, so I wanted to decorate it a little bit more. And as you can see, I tried so hard to use this fire pit, but I just couldn't get it to fit anywhere where it wasn't blocking off any pathways. At the back of the beach where the rocks are, I've always had this area be my stargazing / picnic space, so I decided to keep it the way that it was. As you saw, it was already decorated prior to me recording, and now I'm just sort of decorating it and trying to make it fit in with the campsite and have it all flow together. I also really wanted to incorporate a lot of lights and lamps into this area, so at night time it's really illuminated and really pretty. So thankfully you guys will get to see what it looks like at night time, because by the time I was done with this, the sun was starting to set in the game, so I'm happy you guys will get to see it. I really wanted to use the hammocks and the lounging chairs in this build because it fits in well with the theme that I was going for my campsite, so I really wanted to use it, and also it would be hard for me to incorporate it to the other parts of my island, so I'm happy I got to use them here as well. I also decided to put down a lot of log stakes into the sand, and also I'm going to go in and put down flowers and some weeds and custom designs that resemble weeds, so that way my beach looks a little bit more full and not so bare. And now here's the part that I'm most excited for. This is the final reveal of Opal's campsite. This is now the official campsite, and I don't plan on changing it because I'm pretty happy with how it looks. I might end up adding in some mushroom items like the mush lamp and stuff. At the time when I recorded this, I didn't have any of those, so some things might change, but otherwise this is what it looks like. I'm really happy with the way that it came out, and I hope that you guys liked it too. I love that it looks like it's its own little area, and it looks a little bit like it's in the forest, and I know once I put in the forest that's in the upper level, it's gonna look even more better and a lot more isolated and everything, so I'm really excited for when I do that video. Here are some top down views of what it looks like, and I'm pretty happy with how it all came out. With that being said, we're now at the entrance of the campsite, so that means that this video is almost over. I'm really happy that you guys got to come along with me as I decorated my campsite. If you have any ideas for some more Fairycore builds, I would really appreciate that. I would also really appreciate it if you guys could like and comment if you wanted to, and subscribe for more videos. So yeah, I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye!